Hey, hold up. Before we continue on the episode, I just wanted to ask you quickly if you've heard of Anchor. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to make podcasts today. Let me explain. First of all, it is free, completely free, and there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit the podcast right from your phone or computer. And the best part of it is you don't have to do anything else. Like you just upload, like you make your podcasts with the tools available to you and you upload it, and Anchor does the distribution yourself. Like it distributes your podcast for you so you can be heard on different platforms. You can be heard on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and many more. And with the amount of audience you have, the amazing thing, you can make some money from your podcast. And it's everything you need. Anchor is just everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. You don't have to go to different studio sessions and look for places to take your recordings to, or your work to. Your projects are just there for you and you manipulate it how you want. And today you can download the free Anchor app. Just go right now, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you. So let's get back to the session. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another segment of H, that is impromptu chinwag with your host J-Boy. So today, first of all, I want to take a few minutes or a few seconds to thank you guys for the feedbacks from the previous episode, and I have to say that I didn't expect that much of. It was the very first one, and I didn't expect that much of love from you guys, and I really do appreciate it. And most especially, I appreciate the feedbacks, all the comments I got, all the advice. And since this is a new journey, I really appreciate. I want to please let it keep coming, keep bringing it in, and I really do appreciate it. I particularly one of the feedbacks I did enjoy, and I felt was honest because I had that in mind before putting that out, was the one on the timing. I got a few people telling me that it turned out to be a bit too long, and that was the podcast lasted for about 35 minutes in total. And well, many people said it was too long, and yeah, I think you're right. So I'm going to try to make this. From now on, I'm going to try to work on the timing to make it a bit. Limited in time frame. So once again, I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you. And if you have not seen the first episode, come on, I don't know what you're waiting for. You're going to enjoy it. For as long as I know, the ones that the feedbacks I got showed me people really liked it. And of course, this is still me just talking about I'm not a teacher, like I repeat. I'm not, I don't have any professional skills on public speaking or giving advice or psychologist, but this is me sharing my ideas here, and tell me what you think. You can as well leave voice messages if you want, and just feel free to give feedbacks if you feel you have to. If there's anything you want to share. And so today we are going to be looking at a particular, it's pretty much a very known topic. It's something that is out there every day, and we see it every day, and I just want to share what I think, because this week, let's say this week it's been It's been quite a week, and a few things that has happened over the past few days, and which made me to think this would be something nice to discuss, or for me to share my thoughts here, and then you can also tell me what you think about it. So today I would like to talk. Of course, I'm the one talking. You're doing the listening. So I would like to talk about three things that pretty much work together. I want to talk about the effect of stigma, labels, and stereotypes, amongst people in the society, socially, and around. So we're just going to be looking at these three things, and in a very brief way, of course, so that it doesn't get too long. I don't want you guys come complaining. I was joking anyway. So we want to be talking about labels, stereotypes, and stigma. These are especially stigma is one of the strongest. How do I say it? I don't know the phrase or the word, but it's one of the stronger things out there today, that it affects lives negatively. Like it leads people to depression. It leads to so many things. I mean, if you are on the receiving end, of course, it's pretty much easy to stand there to be like to be the giver, which is something bad. It's actually a very bad thing to give out there, to show. And I don't know, it's something that I thought was worth discussing here, most especially also, since it's an impromptu talk here. This is not a rehearsed session or anything. So I'm just talking as it's coming to my head now. And I want to say one of the reasons I thought, once I came on here and I thought about talking about this, is because of what happened with the actor who just died, the American actor who just died of cancer, Chadwick Boseman. This is a very, very sad news, and pretty much recent. And it, after it was announced, and all that, people, I saw many things on social media. I saw many talks, and how people, of course, complimented and said good things about him. And I read comments, I read posts, I read writings, and very nice things, of course, about his bravery and being a hero. And I just couldn't stop asking myself, of course, there are people that choose to keep things to themselves, which is beautiful. But then it's also a question of the reason why people keep things to themselves sometimes. And now, okay, this is not being personalized or being, he's not the subject. It's just an example. He is not the subject. I'm not talking about his life, but I'm talking about things in general. Like I'm just saying that thinking about him brought about this topic. But now I'm not discussing his death or discussing his life. It might come, like instances might arise and might come to my head, and I might mention this is not about him, but it's just an instance. There are many reasons people keep things to themselves. Some people keep things to themselves quite all right. That is, like, they keep things to themselves because they are very private people. But then there are people that hide things because of stigma. There are people that hide things because of, being labeled, or because of the stereotype out there. And it's very harmful. It's very bad. It's a very delicate subject. And I don't want to say the wrong thing. So please, as you listen, I just want you to open your heart. Like, I want you to listen with an open mind, okay? And of course, There's still the comment section. There's still the voice message where you can leave whatever you think, whatever is your take, or whatever it is you think I said that is worth correcting or you don't agree with. Okay. Okay, so just don't forget you're still on Itch, that is Impromptu Chinwag with your host J-Boy. So we'll get back on the topic of the subject now again. So guys, talking about the labels, stereotypes, and stigma, still on your channel, Itch, with your host, J-Boy. So guys, we're talking about labels. And I just want to, I don't know, these are things that, of course, we all know what they mean. And I mean, I don't think there's any need for coming here to give you definitions or meanings. But I don't know, just for the case of doing it, I think, of course, we all know that stigma, it's stigmatizing or stigmatization is like the act of describing or regarding someone or something. Since we're talking about people now, so in this case, social stigma, it's like a disapproval or discrimination against a person, maybe based on something, perceived characteristics, or maybe because most of these, because now, because in this discussion now, let's say we started with maybe disease or sicknesses, like in the case of Chadwick we mentioned earlier, having cancer. I mean, there are people that maybe they turn out for some reason. I mean, this is life, life happens sometimes due to mistakes or wrong choices or anything. And somebody might, or wrong way of life or anything, and somebody might just get diagnosed with any disease. And that is not the right way to do it, guys. The stigma we place upon these diseases and towards the people that have them, these are things that pretty much lead them to hide in their shells. And we have to educate ourselves more on these things, because it's not positive. One, is not healthy for us, it's not healthy for the other person. Because when stigma is that's huge, when there's this much stigma on these, let's take, for example, since we're talking about, and this applies to everything, of course, but since we're talking about diseases, for example, if he had come out, still mentioning Chadwick now, if he had come out and shared it, and that he was diagnosed with cancer, I think maybe things will change. One, he's an American, he's black, and I don't want this subject to go too racial now. It's not about racial differences, but when you look at it, though, it's not, it cannot be hidden that these are things that could have affected his career, and the public would have seen it differently. And then there's this thing we do, people do, that you start feeling sorry, you start treating them different. We need to educate ourselves more on things like this, because it doesn't pay to stigmatize people with diseases, or people having stereotypes. It doesn't, because it's one thing, it doesn't work well for us. I'll tell you why. It doesn't work well for the person giving that act of stigmatization. One, because when you do this to one person, another person close to you who maybe finds out that he or she is having a problem or has a disease or has something and sees the way you act, the rest of the public would hide whatever it is that they are bearing, like they keep it inside of them. Why? Because they are scared of the stigma. Why? Because they're afraid. They don't want to get that treatment, that way of being treated different, that social distancing. It's not healthy for the society, because these people need to come out and share, and feel free to. It's just that many people are not very educated on things. Take, for example, you find out somebody is diagnosed with HIV/AIDS. You don't just run away from the person. Another person who finds out sometimes it's talking about these things gets me a bit overwhelmed, or rather emotional, not overwhelmed, because I tend to have too much words to speak and then nothing comes out. That's why I'm going from here to there with words, but trying to keep it low now, trying to maintain it so that I can be able to speak out. When you act, or when we act in this way, it's sometimes the stigma kills more than the disease itself. It's not even sometimes. That is what happens. It's the stigma itself. The difference is that labeling. It kills more than what the person is suffering. Because this is time they need support. They need, if only we would be more educated. For example, take HIV/AIDS, for example. If somebody has been diagnosed with with the disease, you don't have to. It's just a disease, right? And of course, we are scared of things that might affect us, but giving that energy is not the way to keep you from it. You have to get yourself educated on how to prevent you from contacting it. But then you have to support the person that has it. You don't have to run away from them, keep distances. You have to show them concern. This is the only way they'll feel relaxed to open up to you. And many other people out there are not able to share their stories because of the stories of stigma and the way the society treats them. And this is something that is bad. I don't want this. Of course, I'm trying to keep this thing as brief as possible, so the time doesn't get to get to the last one of 30 minutes. I want to keep this short, but I'm still trying to make the point hit hard as possible, to get to the point without having to use too much words. But even though that is a bit difficult here, because we're talking about important things, we're talking about three huge society subjects: the labelings, the stereotypes, and the stigmatization. They are very huge topics. They are huge things. We cannot deal with them all even now. So I just want to throw this advice out there. It's painful for whoever is receiving, whoever is at the receiving end of these traits of stigmatization and stereotypes. It's, if we educate ourselves more on diseases and stuff like this, we'll get to learn the most important things, rather than just what the society says and what people think, and we should not base our actions on just things we hear out there. It's not a wise way of living. We should get ourselves more education on things, little things. What I am campaigning for is to stop totally the stigmatization out there. Because the stigma is bad on everyone that is having issues, health issues, or any other issue that the society thinks is bad. So guys, I am trying to raise a campaign for against these things, because it's pretty much something that has huge disadvantages to the society. And I'll tell you more, because uh, when there is because when there is the rate of when the rate of stigma is high in the society as it is now, the people that the people that have these diseases, it has impacts, huge impacts on them. You understand? Because stigma can drive people to hide the illness to avoid discrimination, and then it prevents people from seeking healthcare immediately, and to discourage them from adopting healthy behaviors to help them to go over it, to help them to fight it. So on a closing remark on this topic, because of course I'm on the time. I'm running a time control program here, so I don't want to stress this matter that much. I don't want to stress the whole talk too much. I mean, more than it should be, more than it should be stretched. So I know I mentioned more of stigma while talking, but I chose to put three of them together because in the end they all create discriminations, and it's something wrong. It's something, of course, it's totally unacceptable in a society. I mean, we have stopped being humans, like humanities. We have stopped being humans and we just decided to be living creatures. Being humans is not it's more than what we see today in the society. Humanity, we're just being humans. When the effect of humanity, the real sense of humanity is far-fetched in the society, and these are things that the sense of humanity invites us to do. Being human is understanding that that whatever be your place in life, there are people with different situations, different stories, different battles. People are fighting different life battles every day, and we just have to put ourselves, that sense of, aside humility, we also have to bring ourselves into that person's shoes. Try to, like in the case of people suffering from diseases, also, we don't have to see the disease. We don't have to look at the people as the disease, because these are things that bring about stigmatization, the stigma in the society. What they are fighting they are fighting the war, they're fighting the disease in their lives, and they have to add fighting with the society to it, and it's not fair. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to ourselves. There are harmful effects of these discriminations. You know, They are very harmful effects, because these stigmas make the people bearing these things, they feel ashamed, they feel hopeless and isolated. And then they get reluctant to ask for help or to get treatment, because they don't want. Some people get that 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 reluctant because of the stigma, that they don't want to go see a doctor, because they don't want the doctor to recognize them. Because they are scared of what people would do when they find out that they have these diseases, or they have these signs in them, these symptoms in their lives. They are afraid of the world going out there. Uh, and it's funny sometimes to even see this stigma present in family members. It's family members. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. We have to be humans again. We have to be humans, people. it affects them in the society, affects people in workplaces, and then it has to affect them in the family. So this is something that it's I don't know, it touches somewhere in my heart, like when I think about it and when I'm trying to address it like this. So more on a closing note, now, because we don't have much time, and I don't want, this is not a sad story. I don't want to talk about things I feel, but I'm just trying to create a campaign. Like, I'm trying to build this campaign and create this awareness. It's not the first time you're hearing this. This is not the first time, of course, but it's just a reminder. I'm trying to remind you with the choice of words that come through my mouth. I am just trying to remind you that there's no need. We have to, you know, I don't know. It's we don't have to see people with mental illnesses or mental issues or mental health issues or health issues. We don't have to see them as the disease. We should see them as who they are as individuals rather than their illness. We should not see their illness. Stop feeling sorry for them. Stop feeling, not sorry. Of course, we should feel sorry for what they're fighting and going through, but in the sense of, there's another sense of feeling sorry for that people feel that you treat them less. They don't want you to treat them less. They don't want you to see them as incapable. They don't want you to see them as people, oh, we're gonna die today, tomorrow. No. I'll help them to live their life to the fullest. Be careful, educate yourself, and help educate them, help them to feel positive, help them to feel alive, help them to feel good, help them to understand that they can beat it, that they can live through it, that they can have the best life they can, even with whatever it is they are fighting. And this applies on the closing remarks, guys. So this is very important. I just want to finish up letting you understand this, or choosing the words to say. I might not choose the best words right now, but just try to understand the point here as I round up, because we're already at the edge of time. Like, we're already stretching more than the time I wanted to allocate to this podcast. But the point is this: we should help these people, whatever it is in the society. We should help ourselves. You know, we have to put ourselves in people's shoes sometimes, and try to understand what they are facing, what they are living, what they are seeing. It's not something that can be hidden. It's everywhere in the society. It's obvious. So when you see people, when you don't know what they are fighting, even your friends, and if they see that you have any of these labels, any of these discriminating attitudes, that's how this is also present in friendships, because there are some friends that don't tell some of their friends certain things because they see, knowing these people over some time, you figure out their way of seeing things, their way of seeing their reasonings, and then maybe they might see you as somebody that easily put label on things, or on people. And when they go through things like that, they don't want to share it with you because they know that this will make you be less of a friend to them. So this is me telling you guys to try to eradicate this in our society, in our lives. We have to start from us. I have to start from me here, and treat everybody equal. Treat everybody without limitations. Give everybody the same opportunity, not because of what they are facing, or what they have, or the way they look, or the way they talk. We are all humans, and one thing for sure: no one chose in what way to come in on earth. No one chose body type, nobody chose the hair color, nobody chose the eye color. We were born this way, so we have to learn to live as humans. We have to have the sense of humanity in us, and That's the last thing I think I am going to say, because the more I go, the more it seems like I'm going to talk more. The more it seems like words are coming, but I don't want to go more than this, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to each channel today, and this is still your host J Boy rounding up here, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much, guys, and please don't forget. Do not forget. Try to leave me comments. I did appreciate the last ones, but don't stop there. Keep keep commenting, keep giving me your feedbacks, and tell me what you think about this episode. Tell me your take. Tell me what your ideas are, and or maybe one day we could also have sessions where we have interviews here. Thank you again, and see you on the next. See you on the next one. Bye bye.